So Malagasy people welcoming their own new CAF president, Ahmad Ahmad. Hello and welcome to yet another edition of Football Planet here on Africanews. My name is Juliet Bewa and we do this together every week. So this week we bring you the post-event reactions from the just ended historic CAF elections. We ask, what next? We also have a special feature on the high-flying Gabonese player, that is Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang, who simply can't stop scoring. Among other interesting stories we have for you, we'll also tell you about that painful TP Mazembe exit from the CAF Champions League. So we start off today's show with the aftermath of the CAF elections, and as you may be aware, there is a new man at the helm of affairs. Ahmad Ahmad of Madagascar takes over from Issa Hayatou, who is leaving after some 29 years. So we are glad to be joined by respected African football journalist and also commentator Mark Gleeson, who speaks to the issue of the new wave. Mark, thank you very much for your time here on Football Planet. First of all, tell me, how can Ahmad succeed in this tough environment?
CAF needs a lot of change. I mean, I think the culture of cheating is still very big. I think the culture of bribery is still very big. I think the refereeing standards have improved a lot in the Nations Cup, but have they improved at club level? I don't know. The development of the African game, the individual leagues, so that we don't leak players. Ultimately, if I was the CAF president, that would be my goal, is to make African leagues strong and African competitions like the Champions League and the Confederations Cup of an equal stature to that of Europe, because that would keep the best African talent on the African continent and make it the African footballing product the same standard of interest that the Europeans enjoy around the world. I mean, their financial strength allows them to have the best players worldwide. So, you know, why can we not do the same in Africa in the long-term future? I think that's what they should work towards, is strengthening the league, strengthening the income, but they also have to get rid of all the cheating that still goes on.
But tell me, what do you think the future holds for their governing body?
There's now a new wave of younger people coming through. There's a whole new camp. Those that still remain are under threat. And then obviously there's probably a lot of CAF employees who are also thinking to themselves, okay, times are changing now, you know, maybe it's time to move on. It's not like we had a revolution and, you know, we are going to go from capitalism to communism or communism to capitalism. You know, I think the wheels will keep turning. We just have a different driver. I don't see it's drastic. There are drastic changes, and I don't think at the end of the day African football can make a lot of progress in isolation. The progress has got to come with political and social change on the continent, with increased economic opportunity. You know, the football doesn't grow in a vacuum. It grows also in the social environment. What African football must realize is it also has to wait to see what the changes are in the economic improvement of the African continent, and then utilize those things as best they can. But you know, I don't see a big drastic change happening. I mean, the day-to-day running of football will continue the way it pretty much has.
So that was Mark Gleeson, joined me all the way from South Africa to tell us the way forward for the governing body, that is CAF. We stay with football administration, and Ghana's Football Association president, that is Kwesi Nyantakyi, has expressed his delight at being elected a member of the FIFA Executive Council. So he has been speaking to local press in the Ghanaian capital, Accra.
I feel privileged to be elected onto the FIFA Council. I believe that I'll be able to live up to the expectation of the stakeholders and justify the confidence you and all of them have reposed in me by electing me to this august body. This election can be described as a landmark election. In some circles, it's been described as a tsunami because it swept many people, many long-standing officials off their feet and off their seats. But that is the nature of life. All of us serving society or associations in various capacities, one time or the other, will move on. and other people will take over from us. So it's time for Mr. Ayatu and his friends to move on. A new breed of leaders have been elected.
So still on CAF-related matters, and the dethroning of Issa Hayatou from the CAF position has got his country folks talking. So we have sampled views from some Cameroonians.
In Africa, they never resign. They do not know that they must leave power before power leaves them. You saw Blatter, who felt he could no longer continue, and he resigned. Why can't we, Africa, imitate this example? Why do we still want to die with power? Let us learn the positives of those who honorably leave their post.
Que les Africains apprennent aussi de l'Occident, du positif de l'Occident.
Il a été battu.
He was beaten without being cheated. He is tired and he must go and rest.
Il est fatigué, il faut qu'il aille se reposer, c'est tout.
C'est son temps qui est arrivé.
It is time. He saved Cameroon a lot. I wish he had resigned earlier and not get into this.
Je trouve mieux qu'il vienne se reposer pour ne pas sortir avec les querelles et autres choses.
Right, so now let's switch attention down to international football. And the friendlies are back again with us as we prepare to see 2 weeks of games involving nations. So we do expect to see some of the biggest players in the world of football that is representing their respective countries. Here are some fixtures. So now let's get on with some active competition. And DR Congo's TP Mazembe have suffered a shock exit from this year's Champions League at the expense of Zimbabwe's Caps United, who withstood the pressure from a previous 1-1 game to secure a decent 0-0 second leg run of 32, so tie. And let's look at who has made it into the next stage of their competition. So time now to do some serious goal business, and we are talking Gabonese striker Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang, who keeps scoring for his German side Dortmund. So the Bundesliga top scorer Aubameyang grabbed the winner as Borussia Dortmund and a 1-0 victory over battling Ingolstadt on over the weekend. We look back at some of the memorable goals he has scored this season.
Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. Aubameyang who hits another milestone on the club's all-time scorers list in the Bundesliga. That's goal number 74 in game number 117.
It was great to score one more time against Ingolstadt, but I think the most important was to win today, and yeah, I think this goal was important, so that's great for the team, I think, and yeah, I don't know. I think maybe I'm lucky against Ingolstadt. So we have now 1 week. I hope I will have some rest this weekend. Then, of course, I'm with the national team, but I will try to see with my coach what we can do for not coming back and tired. So. Yeah, that's it. And then, yeah, when I come back, of course, we have to be ready for this match.
Aubameyang flicks it back. Shinji Kagawa. Aubameyang, great first touch, and he's picked out the top corner.
So we are wrapping up shortly, but there is some time to do this week's top 5 goals, and we head straight to the Spanish La Liga. So up next is this week's best images. So it was a pleasure coming your way here on Football Planet on Africa News. From the team here in Point Noir, Congo, we say thanks for watching and see you same time next week. My name is Juliet Bewa.